with the Art of Cherishing Home, and today we're going to be doing a soup that is close to my heart. My grandmother made this soup. Every time I smell mint, it makes me think of my grandmother, my vovó Maria, and I am not feeling well, so I wanted to make this soup. Fun fact, when I went to the Azores in 2019, I searched everywhere, and I mean everywhere I could, for this soup, and nobody had it at the restaurant. And I was so sad and disappointed because my grandmother had passed away in 2016, and I hadn't had that soup in such a long time. So I went online and I found this lovely woman's book, and this recipe is from her cookbook. Just because I did not have a recipe from my grandmother, I literally begged her to write her recipes down. I vividly remember begging her to write her recipes down, but she was one of those cooks that she did everything by taste, and she didn't measure anything, and she was just that good. So of course, when I asked her to write stuff down, it's all in Portuguese and it's all in cursive, and there wasn't really measurements. And sometimes it was hard to read her handwriting because, you know, she was older. So, plus I don't think she wrote this recipe down. But anyways, I have 4 patatas peeled, and I am going to cut them into 4s for my soup. And if you're wondering why I don't say like everything in Portuguese, because technically my first language is Portuguese, but it is not my dominant language. It is my dominant language is English. So eu posso falar português, pois eu mãe não pode falar, e when eu estava xixinha, ela não pode, like, she couldn't understand what I was saying, and my dad could, and of course my grandmother, because I was with my grandmother a lot, and my uncles, and they all spoke Portuguese, and my uncles still do speak Portuguese, but my uncle Marcelino, he is older. He speaks English very well, and he will respond to me in English. But my uncle Joe, he is predominantly a Portuguese speaker, so his English is not that great. So I have to use a little bit more Portuguese with him. But eu não puedo dizer everything in português, so eu falo português xuxinha, pois, so yeah, I only speak it a little bit because I'm a little rusty. If you couldn't tell, it's kind of hard to keep your Portuguese alive when your family predominantly speaks English, and that's usually because, like, my mom, she struggled with learning Portuguese, and she tried, but she couldn't do it. But anywho, I have my potatoes cubed, and I'm going to put them to the side. So this recipe only calls for 2, I think it's 2 large potatoes, but I did 4 because my potatoes are on the smaller side. And it does call for 1 whole onion, so I'm going ahead and I'm going to chop this onion up into smaller pieces. Oh my goodness, my hands, it's so cold. I don't want to work. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. Okay, as you can see, I finally chopped up my onion. I have minced garlic. You're going to need a lot of garlic. Okay, this is a very simple soup. It is a poor person soup. I have, okay, I went to the store. I bought it new. It's fresh. It would be better if you used day-old bread. The staler, the better, because it's going to be in your soup. Okay. But I don't have day-old bread, and I haven't like made any fresh bread. So that's why I bought it. Okay. Now I am going to use a little bit of olive oil, and then I'm going to use manteca, butter, okay, for my base. Okay, now I have my butter. I'm going to cut my butter. Put about 2 tablespoons in here. Okay, so I have a Dutch oven, but you can use whatever panela, whatever pot you want to use, okay? And then I know technically you're just supposed to like put agua in and like boil it, but I'm going to saute, okay? Because I like to saute my onions, okay? So I'm going to start off with my olive oil. Okay, not too much because I'm going to use butter. Don't want to waste that. Oh, olive oil. Oh, it tastes so good. And this is expensive olive oil, so this is why I'm doing this, so don't judge me. Okay, so I have my 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm going to put it in. Okay, my husband does not like this soup, so mais fica, more for me. So my olive oil has, I smell it, so I know it's heating up. And then I have my butter in here. And then I'm going to add in my whole onion. You're going to want lots of onion and garlic for this soup because it is the base of flavor. And I'm going to saute my onion for a bit. I'm just going to think that the majority, I'm putting in the potatoes by the way, that the majority of you who watch like the Portuguese videos are either of Portuguese descent or from Portugal. So which area of Portugal are you from if you're Portuguese? Because I have both sides. I can trace back to Terceira. That's the island that we're from the Azores. And then I have a great grandmother who's from Brazil. So I have family in Brazil too. Okay, so you know how I said we're gonna use a lot of garlic? So I'm literally using all of the garlic that was in here. So I put water, and I'm gonna dump out the water into here. Okay. Oh no! And didn't get all of the garlic. Okay, so I'm gonna put more water in here and do the same process. Okay, so haha, there we go. That's how I imagined it going the first time, but it didn't go that way the first time. Okay. If you have a bad heart, go light on the salt. If you have a good heart and you don't have any heart issues, you're gonna salt it like the ocean, okay? Because this is a soup. So I'm going a little heavy-handed with the salt. Okay. I might add more salt later. Who knows? Okay. You're gonna let this come to a boil. So you're gonna turn the heat up, let it boil. I know the recipe says 2 sprigs of mint. I like mint a lot. I'm going to add more mint. If you don't like mint that much, don't add that much mint. You can add more or you could add less. Okay, so I know that the recipe says that you're supposed to like add an egg for each person. But I'll be honest with you, I love eggs. Eggs are my favorite thing to eat. When my husband asked me to be vegetarian for when we have to do puja for one of his religious holidays, I get upset because I love my eggs. So I'm adding all these eggs just for me. Yeah. Okay. And they're farm fresh eggs. You can use store-bought, use whatever you got. So once it gets to a boil, you're going to turn it down, lower the heat, let it cook a little bit more to where the potatoes are falling apart. Then you're going to add in your eggs. Okay, so I don't know if you can hear this over the music, but this is my grandmother's favorite song. So in her honor, I'm playing the song. So I'm going to turn down my stovetop because it's bubbling. I know it says to add the mint later. I really like the mint flavor, so I'm adding a lot, as you can see. I like mint. Okay, every time I smell mint, I'm back at my grandmother's house playing in the yard. This is what the soup looks like. I've broken up a bit of the potatoes in there with the back of my spoon to make sure that the potatoes are fully cooked, and I did turn the heat up because I'm gonna add in my eggs. So it's supposed to be by the amount of like people, like 1 egg per person, but I like eggs too much, so I'm gonna do what I want. I usually do. You can see I added in the eggs. You want to make sure that you don't break the eggs because it's supposed to be poached. So you're going to let them simmer in there. And then if you didn't add your mint before, you add your mint now. And then if you have stale bread, you can add your stale bread in now, but I'm going to wait a little bit on the bread. They're pretty much poached and I don't want to overcook them, so I'm going to cut the heat. This is what the finished product looks like. I topped with some fresh mint, and I'm going to eat this in honor of my grandmother Maria. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Bye!